Thank you very much. Alongside Chris Johnston. So Quinn Hughes being dropped in alongside his USA teammates, but his status for the game feels a little bit murky at this point, CJ. We asked John Cooper about the limitations that were placed on Thomas Harley when he came in on an emergency basis. And based on that, it sounded like Hughes might not be eligible to play in this game. But as we know, this is a one-off event, and rules have kind of been on the go through the whole thing. So where does it sit right now?
Well, where it stands is at this point the league has said it is the exact same situation Canada faced when Shea Theodore went down. Quinn Hughes is an emergency player. He can come here. He can't, supposedly skate with the team the same way we saw with Thomas Harley. It was almost comical at that skate the other day when he's sort of behind the door watching the Canadian team take the morning skate. He only got in the lineup when they lost the second defenseman, which was Cale Makar for Saturday's game against the U.S. That's where it is right now for the U.S., but I think for the reasons you've stated, that there's been some fluidity to the rules. In fact, we're talking about the reigning Norris Trophy winner, coming a long way to Boston. As much as this is a ticket everyone wants, a seat everyone wants to watch this game, I can't imagine Quinn Hughes wants to watch it. I think he's coming here to play it. So with a lot of different injury situations for the Americans, we're going to have to just see how that develops. But I got to sense that he's going to somehow find his way onto this roster.
And just quickly on that, the potential is there for them to go 11-7 should they be short up front. Number of U.S. forwards that were in and out of that last game. What do we know about the Canucks and Matthews?
Well, in all cases, they're expected to play. Austin Matthews, I think if that was a game that mattered against Sweden to wrap things up in the round robin on Monday, he would have been in the lineup. Mm-hmm. There's absolutely no concern about his status. Same for Matthew Tkachuk. He missed the last 12 minutes of the Canada game Saturday. They quickly just said, hey, take the extra days to rest up. I think Brady Tkachuk is where there could be a little more concern because against the Swedes, he did crash into the goalpost. You could see him having some difficulty, getting off the ice. He came back, had one brief shift, and they shut him down for the night. But at this stage, what I'm told is that he is expected to play as well. So, Vincent Trocheck also left the game. I mean, there's a lot floating around here in addition to some illnesses. So it'll be an interesting Wednesday practice. We'll have to take attendance.
Meanwhile, really, really tough news for Charlie McAvoy. Not going to be able to participate in the game after spending some time in hospital. Looks like he's going to be okay. But this is a huge loss for Team USA and a tough break for McAvoy.
Yeah, one of the leaders of the team, one of the tone setters, I would say, if you saw the way he played in the first game against Canada, threw his body around, a pretty big check in particular on Connor McDavid, but, someone the coach trusted to put out there basically second pairing minutes at this event. I mean, you tick all the boxes, and on a personal level, of course, you do feel for the guy. He ends up in hospital, which must be scary, but, this is his building. This is where what he's been building towards. Same with Brad Marchand on the Canadian side. I mean, the opportunity to do this in the city, you play for the NHL, representing your country after all this time, and then to have it snatched from you. I mean, difficult for McAvoy, difficult for the U.S., but if there's a silver lining, Quinn Hughes is on his way to Boston.
Quickly, Brandon Hagel had one of the moments of the night, the other night against the U.S. Certainly had one of the quotes of the day today, CJ.
He did. He said he had gotten that fight with Matthew Tkachuk for his country, not for the cameras, and noted, we didn't have a group chat. I wasn't part of this. He wasn't planning that fight. He said basically he was standing up in that moment. And, just a little subtle jab there, of course, that, the U.S. have talked about how they really wanted to set a tone, that they planned those fights out. And he's saying as Canadians, we don't do that. We just answer to the challenges.
And the Canadians electing to have a day off the ice today. They will get back to practice Wednesday. And then, of course, they'll have a pregame skate as well before the final game Thursday against the United States.